Travis Wayne Goodsell. In 1981, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints finished their quad with the new editing of topical guide, Bible dictionary, footnotes, to connect all the scriptures into one, and thus forcing the fulfillment of prophecy. Not quite. But nonetheless, that's what they were starting to push. And so I was the first class in seminary to utilize this brand new edition of scriptures. And over the course of decades, well, actually it was only a decade when Mormons started seeing my scriptures and were threatening to steal them so that they can get away with not studying themselves. They just refer to my text because I annotated my scriptures. And so in 1988, the church came out with a brand new missionary guide for all missionaries. And because 19 years old was still the age of when a boy could become a missionary, I was in the second year of this rollout. And reading over the contents, it went over topics of the purpose of missionary work, Christ-like attributes, the commitment pattern, build relationships of trust, help others feel and recognize the Spirit. That always disturbed me, even back then, because it's a still small voice. What are you talking about? I didn't understand. If you're going to say it's a still small voice, why are you talking about feelings? This is a psychological manipulation that was creeping into the church from evangelical Christianism. Christianism? Interesting. I think I just created a new use of the word Christian in a sentence. Present the message. And we had little pamphlets that we would read over for each of the investigator lessons. Find out what? Resolve concerns. There's an inverted pentagram of Lucifer on the keystone of the doors of the Salt Lake Temple. Resolve my concerns. Do you lie to them? Do you? Because many of you do. I see your videos, Mormons. You lie. Resolve concerns does not mean to lie. Who's the author of all lies? Oh, but it's for Jesus, so it's okay to lie. Is that how you justify it? Am I not resolving your concerns? You forget I'm Mormon. I know you. I've heard you. I've read your lips. No new taxes. I've heard Mormons who say, yeah, I really don't study the scriptures. I had a branch president of the older singles ward while we were cleaning the church one Saturday. He is talking to me about how it's bad for me that I'm an intellectual. And confesses he's never even read the Book of Mormon. And here he is, a leader of the church. Yeah, there's some major concerns to resolve for that issue. Invite. Follow up. Oops. You mean missionaries are supposed to retain? by following up. It's not up to the branch or the ward. We can't just dump people off and forget about them. Try telling that to all the missionaries who went to third world countries. They blame the ward. They are resolving their concerns that way. Blame others for what you failed in the first place. Plan, find people to teach, and baptize and fellowship. Oh, there again, follow up, fellowshipping, leadership. The church leaders never trained me to be a leader, except for to be the ship's cook. Anybody know about that? I'd be impressed. Means you've served our country. Thank you for your service. And so, yeah, this actually was helpful for me, because the church previous to this point, previous to the scriptures in 1981, it was a jumbled mess. You have different manuals produced by different people, most of the time by Hugh Nibley, and Mormons were preaching their own doctrine and getting it spread around. And so this was the decade where the church finally correlated all of the church information together. And unfortunately, they did not resolve Mormons' concerns. They asked us to, but they themselves did not fully resolve our concerns. And so, what then is the difference with the new Preach My Gospel? So, here we have First Presidency message, and then an introduction of how can I best use Preach My Gospel. What is my purpose as a missionary? How do I study effectively and prepare to teach? What do I study and teach? And then they put the 5 different lessons, which are different. The message of the restoration of the gospel of Jesus Christ. So already we're not resolving people's concerns. So you claim Jesus Christ appeared to Joseph Smith in the grove of trees, but he's not the Christian Jesus, but you claim you're Christian. Resolve my concerns. Well, your Christ is wrong, our Christ is right. You didn't resolve my concerns. You just have to have faith. Get that feeling. Oh, you got the wrong feeling. Keep praying until you get the right feeling. It's a 50-50 chance. Might as well just flip a coin. 2, plan of salvation. 3, gospel of Jesus Christ. Isn't that 1, the message of the restoration of the gospel of Jesus Christ? Aren't they one and the same? Resolve my concerns. 4, the commandments. And if you're thinking it's the 10 commandments, no. Thou shalt not wear any clothing that reveals your skin or your garments. Thou shalt not drink Mountain Dew. And then 5, laws and ordinances. If you've watched my channel, you know how I feel about that one. And let's see, what else we got here? How do I recognize and understand the Spirit? Oh, that was worded differently. I'm sure it's a completely new doctrine. What is the role of the Book of Mormon? How do I develop Christ-like attributes? Matthew 23. Be Christ-like. I'm going to let you do the reading for yourself. How can I better learn my mission language? English? I testify that Jesus lives and speaks through me. What part of the English language did you fail? How do I use my time wisely? Oh my God. I've incorporated the missionary handbook with the Preach My Gospel. So, are you sleeping in the same bed now to use up space wisely? See, the missionary handbook outlined our whole day for us. And there's no other room for anything else if we followed it. And so when my doctor ordered me to exercise regularly, daily, I had to violate the handbook in order to be obedient to my medical doctor, whom the missionary president says, yeah, you got to pass, Travis, you can exercise daily. And so it's the people who make these things that are not thinking of the bigger picture. You have a different person making each chapter, and then they put it all together, and then you realize that there are problems. That if you had one person do the whole thing, like Hugh Nibley used to do, you at least can fix the problems, assuming that you get an editor. How do I find people to teach? Yeah, I have no idea where people are. That's confusing. Obviously, they did not have an editor for this. See, when I was in Newburgh, New York, I had figured out a method of record keeping that involved maps of the various blocks, the neighborhoods, so that I knew who was at each residence. Augustine was being an ass, and so he was purposely being kept with me for 6 months. And so it was kind of necessary that we not repeat visits to those who were very upset that new missionaries who kept coming to them were bothering them and not leaving them alone, even when they had a no solicitation sign up. And so, yeah, I knew exactly where everyone was. And when we did this, we then realized, oh, we're doing their genealogy, because they all were related. We were finding out when you're that poor, you're stuck in the neighborhood. When you're stuck in the neighborhood, your neighbors start looking better and better, and other people start looking worse and worse, and before you know it, boom, you've lost everything. We can be together forever someday. I was Mormon, remember? I know all about you. You must be honest. I heard you. I know you. Don't gaslight me and tell me I'm wrong. Don't gaslight me and abuse me with lies, name-calling. I know you. And how can I improve my teaching skills? 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Elder Ames used that for one of the district meetings. And how do I help people make and keep covenants? Take away their agency? Can't force people. How do I prepare people for baptism and confirmation? Again, teach them correct doctrines and let them choose to govern themselves. If you are lying to them, if you are deceiving them so that you can get your numbers up, or you're ministering now, because we don't do numbers anymore in the church, you have to be honest. And you're not being honest when you tell people that the Book of Mormon is another testament of Jesus Christ. Because then they start reading the Book of Mormon and they come across 1 Nephi chapter 1 verse 2, and then they go, wait a minute, I thought this was another testament of Jesus Christ. I didn't realize this was a Jewish book. Huh. Oops. Resolve their concerns. You must be honest. See, they typically don't get the whole quad when they're investigating the church, because we only give out Book of Mormons. I know Elder Stratford, when the Rincon family was baptized, he had bought for them a triple combination so that they could have that to read as well. But people who convert to the Mormonism, that's all they know about is the Book of Mormon. And they then realize, oh, there's more scriptures. Oh, okay, I have to spend more money. Oh, I have to buy a suit to wear to church. Oh, and on top of the 10% tithing that they already have to spend. And then, you know, are they wanting to go on a mission? Are they wanting to do a special mission? Yeah, more money they have to spend on the church. Then a year later, yeah, they're going to the temple now. They now have to pay for underwear and white clothes. Yeah, do we let people know in advance of the total cost of membership? Are we honest? How do I work with stake and ward leaders? Yeah, follow up, fellowship. Yep. So yeah, they put it directly on to the missionaries. You are responsible for the failure of those you taught. You can't pass it off to the ward and stake leaders. And so, yes, this is the big problem with Mormonism for both of these, is that we're not teaching honestly to the people. We're lying to them. And it's a different tactic now than it was then. See, because converts in my generation were from Christianity and were confused as to why we're not talking about Jesus Christ. Now, especially under Nelson, we're ignoring everyone else. It's all about Jesus. Jesus, 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 Jesus. And so why are we any different than any other Christian religion? Oh, because ours is the true Jesus? Do we even have... Yeah, the message of the restoration of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Don't you talk about the apostasy? Don't you talk about Roman Emperor Oh, you don't. You still skip that verse 19? Are we not being honest with Christians? Because we were supposed to be the ones to inform Christians that they're a fraud. That Roman Emperor Constantine has deceived the world with Christianity, which became an abomination by his very creation and the creation of Jesus because it's anti-Semitic. He weaponized the people to turn against the Jews. He replaced their religion, he replaced their scripture interpretation, and replaced the Jewish Christ with the creation of Christianity. He just culturally appropriated everything and changed it or replaced it. He was not being honest. And so then you get all these crusades and wars. And then Islam comes along with Muhammad. And yeah, apparently Islam tends to forget, or at least they lie to people. It was all about warfare. Convert or die. And then when they conquered your village, they built a mosque over the ruins, just like they did to the Jerusalem temple. And now there's a debate. Oh, we can't get rid of it. Yeah, you can. It doesn't belong there. That's not their land. But oh well. Everybody wants to fight about it and cause holy wars and murder. And that's what Mormons are doing to me. Because instead of resolving my concerns, because you don't resolve concerns anymore, obviously. I just read it to you. I don't see resolving concerns anywhere in there. We no longer resolve concerns. It's how do I recognize and understand the Spirit? And that's it. We don't help others to recognize and understand the Spirit. And so, yeah, this is a big problem. And this is horrible and atrocious. Abominable, we might say. So, have fun. Because hate does not resolve people's concerns.